Off our class with a peer review online. I really liked the way that it's formatted and set up because I know previously in other college classes that I've taken where we edit other people's papers, we've just kind of looked at it on their laptop and you didn't really ever want to make changes to their paper without giving them, I guess, you wanted to make suggestions without having to change it. So I liked the way that the format of this, you could give them suggestions without actually having to physically change their paper, and that way they can choose to take your advice or choose to not take it, but you're not actually altering their paper. So that's one thing I really enjoyed about the activity this week and the way ALI Review is set up. One thing that I kind of wish, I think that we still need to work on, like as a class, the quality of the feedback we're giving, because I feel like a lot of my feedback was very vague, kind of like they didn't really have much to say, so they made a general statement about my thesis. So just in general, I'd say as a class it would be helpful if we all kind of worked on being more constructive, doing more constructive criticism and honest feedback, just so that we can all have better writing and better papers. One thing I learned from this week, though, is that in my paper specifically, I think that I need to focus a little bit more on the analysis of the lines and less on the techniques used in the poem, because most of my paper is tying the techniques and how they're used in the poem and what parts with my thesis. So I think that I need to completely get rid of that, or condense it all into one paragraph and then focus more on the actual lines of poetry. But I think that overall this week I'm still continuing to grow, analyzing poetry. For some reason, the love poem that I got was a little bit tricky for me. I had to read it a lot more times than I had to read the other poems to understand what the author was trying to get from it. So I don't know, this one was a little bit more challenging for me. It wasn't as easy to follow for me as the other poems, which for me I thought was difficult because I have to write a paper on it. So I definitely learned that you have to read and read and read over and over and break it down, your poem, as much as you possibly can to be able to find a deeper meaning in it. So I did learn that through it, even though it was difficult for me.